Hello, I'm EG.ThorZaIN, and this is a EG replay review. Today we're going to be looking at a TvZ on Daybreak, and I'm going to be going over how to do a 3 orbital opening into really fast upgrades. Okay, so in this game we have me spawning in the bottom left on Daybreak, a very big map, which is really good for an opening like this. And we have our Zerg Simfo over here. So the idea between going a 3 orbital build is like you get your economy really booming and have a lot of mules, so you can build your infrastructure and prepare for the late game while getting a lot of upgrades and just staying toe to toe with the Zerg even if he's greedy. So you don't really have to do a lot of damage. And you need to get some Hellions out as soon as possible, so that's going to be my first goal in the game. To just get, I tend to stick with 6 Hellions because I feel that's a good number to deal with most amount of links in the early game. So I put my first depot. You may notice that I didn't wall with it. I didn't put it over here. That's because, well, it just saves me a little bit of money, and I don't really need a wall so early. I put it over here, so in case he would be like 6 pulling me, I would be having a, like, my SimCity would be good to deal with it. I will eventually be moving up my barracks over here and complete a wall. So in this game I went for the really fast gas, like the standard gas. There's other ways to do this 3 orbital opening, but this is one of the ways, and it's pretty good. Like, I get my Hellions out really fast, so I can try to deny as much creep spread as possible. Even though the queens have been buffed, it's still important to try to at least kill some tumors. So I get my orbital right as my barracks finish. I don't build another SCV as some people do. It just fits better in with the build. And when the barracks finishes, I build a depot over here, just to start a wall off. Because even though I didn't wall off straight away, I guess Zerg, I think it's worth it to eventually have a wall off. The Zerg is going just standard hatchery first, pool, eventually gas, I'd suppose. And since the Overlord buff, you can't really prevent the Overlord from getting here. Usually they would only be able to go here, but since the patch, he will be able to put his Overlord over here and see my gas timing and just my expansion. So I finished the depot, started building the factory. When I had 50 gas, I built the reactor, and I pulled SCVs out of gas, just because since I'm going for a triple orbital build, I'm gonna need a lot of minerals to, as soon as possible, build my 3rd orbital. I think it's pretty safe to build on the low ground on a big map like this. If they would build like 6 links and try to kill my SCV, my Hellions would be out on time. On smaller maps, such as Shadow Temple or just any small map, you might need to build it in your base if they really want to punish you. So I get my first 2 Hellions out, keep making SCVs, having 16 here for maximum, not maximum, but optimal income, and putting my new ones in gas. My 3rd orbital as soon as I can, even before my 4th and 3rd Hellion. First 2 Hellions are going to his base, see what's up, if there's a spine, if he has speed, try to kill a creep tumor, getting additional Hellions, getting a tech lab that I'll use eventually to swap with the factory to be able to produce siege tanks. Got my 2nd gas pretty soon after the 3rd command center was built, because I need to get both siege tanks and siege mode, which takes a lot of gas. So what I scouted was a tumor, a creep, spine crawler, and some queens. I could have been more active with my Hellions, but I didn't. I don't really know why I wasn't. Like, once they get to the cliffs, it's really hard to do anything more than just stand here or scout for a third. But while they're still over here, you don't have to worry about being shot by queens or having lings on high ground that you can't see. So I got my 6 Hellions, put my Marine here just in case he would do a run by this way. I would see it here, and I swap for tanks. Start siege mode as soon as possible, churn out some Marines, and my next goal will be getting two engineering base for upgrades. Kill a couple of tumors over here, just to prevent the creep spread. Yeah, there goes my two E-base at around 740. Got my third gas at around 7 minutes. And just keep making SCVs. I tend to move my third orbital out at around 9 minutes, depending on what he's doing. Like, if he's taking an early third, it's safer for me to just move it out. But even if he isn't, I can just lift it if I feel like there's danger. So I put my Hellions back here because I saw roaches and he wanted to take control of the tower, which he for some reason didn't. And he's taking a third, just building drones. He's really oversaturated here, but I guess he doesn't really have anything to saturate while his third is building. So I get my additional 3 barracks at around 9 minutes and my starport as soon as possible after that. Continue to make siege tanks and marines, get the stim, get the combat shields. It will align pretty well with the 2-2 to finish, and then I can do a big push. A mistake of his was not... Oh, he didn't have Lara, so he couldn't make any creep here. But I killed these both overlords, which is... It isn't huge, but it helps. I didn't ever scout this one, but since he made roaches and didn't try to do a push with them, I can pretty much assume that he made them just to be safe, taking a third base. When your 3 barracks finish, put down 3 reactors, put down a reactor on your starport, take these gases as soon as possible, because you will need a lot of gas for the upgrades, medevacs, tanks and whatever. On this map I really prefer having a depot wall over here, because it just makes it so much easier to defend run-bys. Like 5-6 depots here and a bunker behind, even a turret to prevent some kind of infestor play, even though you can't even pass. So yeah, this build is very passive. There's not very much action going on. Just repairing my Hellions. It's good to keep them alive, because even though they aren't super good units, they're pretty decent against lings in the late game. So right now I'm at 68 workers. That should be enough. Yeah. You don't really want to pass 70, I think, because then your army might just not be strong enough. And you're on 3 bases, so you're pretty much fully saturated. Anyway, so my 2-2 is, it started but not very far along, but I still move out as stim finished, just because as long as I stay off creep, I'm relatively safe. Of course, if he has been powering units for a long time and just expects a move out, I might be in trouble, but that would have to sacrifice such much economy and upgrades that even if I lose my army, I will still probably be able to be ahead of him. So I should siege up outside of creep. Soon I'm gonna be stimming to clean some creep up, because creep is just so important in TvZ. It makes just his army like 20% stronger overall. One thing that I think was a mistake from his side was he didn't get his upgrades as soon as possible. Like the Zergs tend to make their Evo chambers at around 7 minutes to always be a little bit ahead of the Terran, but as you can see I'm ahead of him. So when I have 2-2 and he has 1-1, that's a really good timing for me to just kill him. Build some more. Oh yeah, after my 2-2 started, when I have the gas, I like to put down a second and a third factory, because you'll have a lot of tanks with one factory because you got it so early. So this push will have a lot of tanks, but once you lose them, it's going to be hard to replenish your tanks with only one factory. That's why you build more. And just a lot of barracks, because you stop making SCVs, you have a fourth on the way, so your money will get really high if you don't have enough production facilities. Get +3, really important. Because if he gets ultras and he's ahead in upgrades, they're just so powerful. Yeah, I sent some marines forward because I have my siege tanks defending them. Can only really lose them to fungals. I did a mistake dying with all my marines to his fungal, but it's enough because it's off creep and Bane's aren't really that good of creep. And I was ahead in upgrades, I think. So yeah, I cleaned this army up, but I'm still in a comfortable position. Like, I have a huge, relatively big army here, 3-3 on my way, and as long as I can do my second attack before he has any hive units, I should be able to take it then. I even have my fourth up. So I saw that he had a hive. Well, I didn't see it, but I could assume it because he went for upgrades and infestors. That's why I built 3 starports. They are blind, yes, he might be making ultralisks, but even then I have such a great economy that I can afford it. And if he's making ultralisks, I can make a couple of banshees to just be annoying with them. So yeah, I keep sending small chunks of marines to just force fungals, clear up creep, and make him just feel under attack. At this point, I basically just killed all of his infestors. He doesn't have any energy left. He has 5 infestors, and that's not very much considering only 2 of them has enough for fungals. And he doesn't have a 5th base, and no real tech. His ultralisks are coming out just now, which is really late, because he focused on getting a lot of banings out and just taking to banings in general. Normally, Zergs don't really get banings when they do go infestors, just because they're good enough for dealing with the marines. But banings can be good if the Terran is going for a tankless style. Like some Terrans will do a heavy marine marauder medevac kind of style against infestor play, and then banings are really good. So even though I'm ahead only by 10 supply, I feel really in control of this game. I have a great position, and his creep spread is very limited, and his economy isn't booming. Like, he has 81 workers, which is quite a lot, but he just doesn't have this gas, which he would really need. It's important to get your +2 and +3 vehicle weapon, even though you don't really need anything more than that against Zerglings, because they die on one shot once you get +1. It's really good against ultralisks. Every one tank upgrade makes the ultralisks die from one shot less. And that was this game of 3 orbital, lots of upgrades, and 2-2 timing. Thank you for tuning in.